the pictures that you have on the screen are not related to my talk. What I wanted to say by this picture, here in Istanbul, you have artists and you have masters of different arts. For example, last week I was visiting my colleague who is living in Istanbul. He's Turkish and he's doing beautiful kundekari art. What is kundekari art, if you don't know? This is the art of making doors, but not carving, by assembling pieces. So this what you have on the screen, it is a typical kundekari work. These pieces you push together. Each of them is separate. There is frame around this. So this is the art that is quite unique. And in many places, even in Islamic countries, this art is gone. I was living in Tunis for 3 months, and I was walking through different mosques. There's nothing like this. Everything what they do is just take MDF, just MDF like this one, carving, carving, carving, painting with the paint, end of story. So this is what is happening. If you have a chance to visit a place like this and see what they're doing, this is the workshop they attended. It was terribly dusty, but this is what they do. This is the door. The door was dusty, so he had to clean them for me. Okay, the door after cleaning. This is his work. That's another part of his work, another part of his work, another part. So people here in Istanbul are doing these things. You can go there, you can see what they're doing. This is the piece that I made a photograph in this workshop because I will need this in just a moment. Okay? So that's the master, kundekari master, and at the moment he's doing a piece of Japanese art that is similar to the Panjara that I will be talking about. Okay, this is İsmet Terzi. There are 5 masters like this in Turkey. This is his work. Yeah, and this is, each piece is separate. They are assembled this way. Okay, I think I can stop in this place. I can stop in this place, and I can go back to my work. There will be 2 parts in my talk, and for most of them I will be sitting. I really hate sitting. I prefer walking, talking, and not sitting, but it will be more convenient for me. The first part, this will be a response for somebody who is here and who wrote me on the Facebook question, how I work, what kind of tools I use. So I will explain just in a few minutes what tools I use for making these things. First of all, I don't draw by hand. Why? Because I don't have time. I don't have time. Simply, I am the editor. At the moment, you see, I retired. 3 years ago, I retired. I retired deliberately. I dropped my job because I wanted to have time for doing things that I like. And suddenly, I was asked to take over a journal for mathematics teachers in Poland. And I accepted this, but I was so silly. Because after accepting this, I found the amount of work that I have to do. So I have to produce every month a paper for this journal that is about 10 pages. Okay? I have to do corrections of many things, so I really have no time. Okay? And for this reason, I don't draw by hand. I do everything on the computer, and I do everything on the computer mainly for the reason I need pictures for my articles. Okay? I need good pictures so I can put them in the article without scanning and so on. So I don't draw. I use 3 tools. 3, the cheapest tools, okay, almost the cheapest tools. The first tool is Geometry Sketchpad. Geometry Sketchpad is not free, but you can use GeoGebra program. Do I have this? Okay, but you can use GeoGebra program, which is completely free and which is similar to Geometry Sketchpad. What these tools are doing? Drawing like with the ruler and compass. So if I wish to draw a pattern, I start here, okay, I draw a line, then, for example, here, I mark the ends, and I say, okay, construct for me a perpendicular line. Yes, I got it, okay? I can do it by hand. And if you finish primary school, you know how to construct perpendicular line for the segment. So that's what I do. If I wish, for example, to construct a midpoint of this, I can do this in 2 ways. One, go to here and say construct a midpoint. Or, if you wish, you can construct your midpoint by just typical geometry construction like this one. Okay, only I have to make the picture slightly smaller. Okay, or just like this. And then, if I draw a line here, I get the midpoint. So practically everything what you do with compass and ruler, I can do here. And on top of this, I can always take any of these objects. For example, I don't like this line, or I don't wish to have this. I don't wish to have this circle. I go to display and ask, hide them. They're gone, okay? You can do very easily, and the more important thing is that every time when you make a mistake, you're going Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, you got. Or the other way, Control R. You can do it, okay? You can always trace everything what you did. There's really more. Look at this. If I create a triangle, this is my first segment, and then I make 2 circles like this. And then what I do, I take this point, just look, when I am here, the 2 lines getting red. It means this is intersection. I draw a line here, I draw a line here, and then I can say, okay, no, come on. I don't need this. I don't need this. So display, hide the circles. I have this. Now, look what I can do with this. Okay, I don't need this part at the moment. I do this. I go to my tools. This is what is absolutely the most important for me. Geometry Sketchpad is so poor. There are only drawing tools for segments, lines, and circles. But I can go there and I can say, okay, make a new tool for me. I selected this triangle. So what means creating a new tool? Okay, tool 1, fine. I can put here. That's right. And then, okay, I can wipe it out. It's gone. I go to my tools. I have here a tool that is saying triangle, and I start drawing. So I don't need to play with this, okay? I can create really complicated objects as my tools. This is really saving time. But look how this is related to this what you're doing with the paper. When you create a tool, okay, let me to wipe it out. Let me to go to the tools that I created. Okay. I created a tool like this. I can use it again. I can use it again and again. Okay, this is wrong really, but I can put it like this. Okay. When you are drawing with paper, what you're doing in this case? You're taking tracing paper. First thing, you're constructing one instance of this thing on the paper, then you're taking tracing paper, and then you have this on the tracing paper. It works like this. That's my pattern. I put tracing paper, I draw, fine, I got it. Then I take another place, I take my tracing paper on the other side, my pattern is here, this part is clean. So I put it in the other side and I follow, this is what I see. Then in this moment I have my pattern in two places, here and here. So now I can turn it up and I can do it again. So this way I can quickly populate the page with my pattern that I created. You don't need really to draw all these thousands of lines. Just one part. Jean-Marc was showing us the triangle. Okay? If you create a pattern on the triangle, then with the tracing paper you can populate the whole page as long as you wish. And this what I do here is the same. I have my tool and I use this tool to recreate my pattern. So for example here, what there should be? Okay, there should be something more complicated than I have. Okay, I will switch. That's my first tool, Geometry Sketchpad. I said GeoGebra. GeoGebra, the name for GeoGebra is here. Okay. Just remember, this is GeoGebra. GeoGebra, when they were producing GeoGebra, they were copying Geometry Sketchpad. They were copying, literally copying. But GeoGebra, if you are concerned about the graphics, there are 2 points that are important. You have to understand, there is difference between bitmap and vector graphics. These are 2 different types of graphics. This what you see here originally is looking like this. This is this. But when you start zooming into this, okay, Masoud, you need this part? Okay. When you start zooming into this, you see the picture is created out of pixels. That's a pixel. So the whole bitmap graphics is created as from pixels. The pixels are very small, there are many of them, and when you look at the picture, you have illusion that this is line. That's not line, really, okay? That's not line. This thing is not line. These are just pixels dropped here. Why I need this program? How this is related to what I do? Very often I do a photograph, and very often you don't have space for making photographs. You know, the best photograph is when you stop in front of it, just in front, not the photograph is up, just in front of your eyes, then you don't have distortion. Normally the photograph is bad like this one. So what I do? In Paint Shop I have a tool for correcting perspective. I just have the frame. Do you see this frame on the screen? And I just put the frame like this. I say that this way. I move it this way. And now, if I double click on this, I get this. Correcting perspective is quite important because in this moment, you finally see how your pattern looks. The pattern is still not correct. Why? Because you see, this should look like a circle, but it is not really a circle. So I can also adjust it. Okay, oh, I don't see this is. Okay, resize. Resize, but in the resize, I ask to unlock the aspect ratio, and then I can ask, okay, the white is like this, and the height should be, let's say, 98. Okay? So pattern is like this. So I can play with the pattern until I will get this what I really want. If I wish to, I can do many things. For example, here, this line doesn't look straight. I can correct this in this program. And finally, at the end of the day, okay, at the end of the day, I need a photograph for my paper. So I capture this thing, just like this. Okay. Okay, go to image, crop to selection. I got this what I wanted. I don't need anything more. This is what I really need. So this program you need when you work with photographs. Our photographs are usually very bad. When we photograph things, we never care about proper angle, proper position, we never care about proper light. For example, here, do you think that the light is correct? Okay, but I can see what I will get. Okay, fix the light. Is this better than this one? Yes. Okay. Sometimes it's better, sometimes it's not. You need something like this. And the PaintShop Pro was the cheapest option for me. The goal was get the tool for correcting perspective. This was the main goal. The program without this is a nonsense for me. Okay, for cutting pieces and improving quality. This is really all. And this was the cheapest program for me. Now the other thing, okay, I will just drop it down. And the last piece that I use is the Ensar. You can use Adobe Illustrator, you can use whatever you want, really. This is the program that I use for making, let's say, final adjustments. Normally you get a picture like this. Okay? When you draw in geometry, you get a picture like this. Sometimes you get it with colors, sometimes not. But here I have many things. First of all, I can zoom. I can zoom to anything. For example, I wish to see how this part looks. And now, here you have difference. The previous program was the bitmap. This one is vector graphics. What I can do? Look at this. That's still straight line. Okay? Not pixels. I can zoom as much as I want. Okay? And I will be still getting things like this. That's really important for us because in this case you can really be sure that you produce something with the quality that is ready for publishing. Then you have in this program you have many special effects. I don't wish to talk about them. I frequently use something effect like this one, okay. So I take my pattern, okay, and I just expand it in some way. Okay, and I get something like this, pattern in 3D. You often see my patterns on the Facebook, okay? All of them are created this way, okay? Just using special tools in this program. Nothing special. You can do it. You don't need to be specialist in computer graphics, in any graphics. This is just a few buttons. I wish to change the color of my pattern. Yes, I got it. Looks nice. Okay. So I can play with the color. Okay. I can have line in different color if I want. Okay. I can make the pattern like this. That's up to you. Okay? And look how much of work you are saving, how much time you are saving. Of course, at the end of the day, you will be not satisfied with this because you want to have something that you were painting. But you can print this, you can look at this, and then you have source which can just bring your imagination. So these are my 3 tools that I use. I don't use anything else. I don't use expensive program. This was the cheapest one, the cheapest vector graphics program. Very nice program. I can do really a lot of things with this. It's very simple. Okay? Okay, let's put it down and let's go back to my topic. So I use GeoGebra, I use PaintShop Pro. Let's make it bigger so you will be. Okay, now I don't. And then I use Xara Designer for this thing. If you have Photoshop at home, then you can use, instead of PaintShop Pro, Photoshop. That's up to you. Okay? There's no special need for using any special program. Any bitmap graphics program can do a good job for you if you have the right tools. Any vector graphics program can do the job for you. And this is even simpler task because Adobe Illustrator, which is very popular, it is probably everywhere, and the pirated copies of Adobe Illustrator are on practically every computer. I don't have pirated software.
Free version.
There is free version. Okay, so you have these tools. Please remember, you don't need to be specialist in computer graphics. You just have to learn very basic things, nothing special. Yes? If you wish to end up with the drawing, you don't need vectors. But if you're going into any kind of technical application, vector drawing is essential. For example, laser cutting. You wish to do something on the laser, you have to give the vector graphics file. So you're saving this thing in any vector graphics file. A Windows Meta file is okay. You save this in Adobe Illustrator format, or you can save this as a PDF file, and then they do what you want, really. Okay? Now, we are back in my Geometry Sketchpad. In the Geometry Sketchpad, I have something that is missing in all other geometry programs. I have pages. That's my first page. That's my second page. That's my third page. I can create as many pages as I want. This means if I do design, I can always go back to some stage and use it again, start from this point. You will see how it works. Now, let me start my real topic for today, Panjara patterns. I invented really these patterns because the word Panjara means any pattern with holes. Any pattern that has holes in it, it is Panjara. I spent some time in Uzbekistan, and everything what was with holes, they were calling, oh, that's Panjara, that's Panjara, that's Panjara. So Panjara, this is really something that has holes in it, and it can be used for the window or as a screen inside of the house and so on. And now let's talk about mathematics. This is mathematics. So first, this what you see here, this is tiling on the plane. Okay? This is tiling on the plane. You can do tiling on other things. You don't, if you wish, you can do tiling on the sphere. He was showing this thing. You can do tiling on the cylinder. In your presentation, there was beautiful example of tiling on the cylinder. I really liked it, okay? It was from Samarkand, I think, okay? I have to look in my Samarkand photos for this example because I was photographing really everything what I could. So tiling on the plane, it is this what we need when we're creating these patterns. Sometimes we say tiling edge to edge. What I mean by tiling edge to edge? If I have this tile and if I have this tile, this is the common edge. Tiling edge to edge means tiling things in such a way that they have common edge. Tiling that is not edge to edge may look like this. Okay? And then, for example, if I take, this is not tiling edge to edge. Why? Because here the common edge is like this, okay? And this is not the whole edge because the edge for the big triangle goes up to this moment, okay? So this is not tiling to the edge to edge to edge. Edge to edge will be like this. This edge is common with this one is common with this one, okay? There are no break points on the side. Then we have vertices. These points here, this is the vertex, this is the vertex, here is the vertex. So what are the vertices? Vertices are the points where the tiles meet together. 2, 3 more tiles meet together. So these are vertices. Sometimes we call about valence of vertices. If you look at this, the valence of this vertex is 6. Why? Because 6 tiles are joining here together. So the valence of this vertex is 6. For this vertex, what is the valence of this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 5. Okay. For this vertex, this one here, how many tiles you have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the valence is numerical value that is quite important because by the valence you can describe position of the vertex. And then sometimes we call what is regular vertex. Regular vertex is a vertex like this one. The polygons around or lines coming to the polygon around are distributed equally. So here each of these polygons has the angle 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60, 60, 60. So this is a regular vertex. This one here is not regular because these angles are equal but this one is not. Okay? So you have different angles. Here this one is not regular. Okay? But for example, if you take this vertex, it is perfectly regular. Okay? Because you have these things. Sometimes we talk about patch generated by vertex and a circle. You take a circle and you draw a circle like this. Everything what you're touching with this circle and everything what is inside of this circle we say this is the patch generated by this circle and this vertex. So our patch in this case is this. Okay. This is our patch. I can change the color of this patch to red. This is my patch. But if I take my circle, okay, this will be another patch. Okay? Because in this moment, I am adding to this patch these pieces. So depending on the size of the circle, okay, I don't wish to choose this one. Depending on the size of the circle, your patch can be, okay, let's make different color. So this is the patch. You can go further. But generating patches just for the patches doesn't make much sense. But sometimes we talk about regular patches. Regular patch, this is the patch that is behaving like this. If you take it, if you rotate this patch by the valence of the vertex, okay, no, by the angle of the vertex, okay, you will not change the symmetry. So, for example, you take this star, this was the patch that we generated a moment ago. If you turn it 60 degrees, you will not change anything. You will not see any difference. Okay? So this patch is the regular patch. If you take this patch here, you can turn it again 60 degrees and you will not change anything. Okay? Why? Because this vertex will go to this point will go here, and you will have the same. Okay? So this patch, the red and orange together, is a regular patch. But if I take something like this, I created another patch. To this patch, what belongs to this patch? Everything what is inside the circle and what is touching this one. Okay? This is my patch. And now look, this patch is not regular. Why? Because we cannot rotate it 60 degrees. Okay? If you take this patch, if you try to rotate it 60 degrees, there is no way, because this thing will go somewhere here and the picture will be completely strange, completely different. So the patch like this, you can rotate, let's say 90 degrees. Well, even not 90 degrees. You cannot rotate it 90 degrees. If you start rotating it 90 degrees, this thing will come to this place, but here, this thing, the empty thing, and this, okay, this line will come here. So you will change the picture. So at some stage, you're getting the patch that is maximal. You cannot expand it. Okay? So the patch that we created here, I call domain of this point. The largest patch that is not changing symmetry around this point. So this is a regular patch. This is what you have here. Okay? And this is the domain of this regular vertex. And finally, the last word that I wish to explain, regular tiling of the plane. What is the regular tiling of the plane? This is the tiling when you have at least one regular point. Okay? So this tiling here is regular because I have one point that is regular. I don't care about the other points. I just need one regular point. But of course here I have more regular points because this one is regular, this one is regular. Okay, so that's like this. So I have many regular points. Okay, so that's the geometry. If you take any textbook about tiling theory, this is geometry, you will find these definitions there. So we are just doing something that is just a basic geometry for primary schools. When I write article about tessellations for my teachers, they are so happy with this because they use this in the class. They just take this to the class and they explore with kids in the class. They use this in the primary school. Okay? Kids like playing with tiles, making arrangements, organizing them, making patterns with them. So this is for teachers what I do. Okay, let's go further. Özgun was asking me about something here, and I wish to come back to this slide. Some people are painting things. You see, patterns like this one are often used for windows. And sometimes they are used just a grid, and sometimes they are used as a window with the glass. And then people are painting normally when the people are doing this on the paper, they painting them in some way. Domain of a point in this case is quite a useful thing because, for example, if I have domain of this point, I can make a color similar for the whole domain. Maybe not exactly the same, but similar. If I have another domain here, I can make it like this, okay? This different domain, different coloring. Then, for example, here, look at this. If you take this point, here, domain of this point is this. Not only this, but also this thing, okay? So this is giving you options for different coloring versions. With the coloring is the whole story. You see, quite often on Facebook, some people are complaining, you use wrong colors. What means wrong color? Because some people are demanding the color should be exactly the color like in the place where he has seen this, and let's say in Isfahan. But if you go to Morocco, the same pattern or very similar, you can see in completely different colors. This is even worse. You have a pattern in one place, and you look at this pattern 20 years later, and the color is different. Why? Because the pigments are just going to chemical reactions, so the color can be different. If you go through Istanbul, then in Istanbul, you look in the mosque, you see the colors that are pastel colors, like dusty colors. And the question is always the same. Are these real colors, original ones? Maybe the original colors were stronger in the beginning, and maybe just along the time, because these are centuries, the colors were fading. So the color issue is quite difficult, and whatever you do, there will be always somebody unhappy with this. It doesn't matter what you do, always somebody will be complaining. You have to choose. You will be complaining. Yeah.
Thing about color. Coloring is not something easy, and the question for me is not is it the true color, the good color, or the difficulty is, and the problem is the way to put colors together. It's not one color or another color.
Yeah. The color palettes are important. You cannot have too many colors in the same design, because it will be looking strange. You must have colors that will be playing the same game. Okay? For example, what I did, and what I do for a long time, really, I created my collection of colors. For example, Agra colors, I called it, okay, dusty blues. These are colors that I can use. Come on. Dusty blue colors. Look how they are related. This one, this one, this one. Okay? Now, if you put here, let's say, a color like this, it will be disaster. Okay? If you put here, for example, a color, or just this one. Okay? Just take this and make a color for this, let's say, red one. Oh, does it fit well? No. Okay? It is not the same. So you have to look for the color, okay, from different. Okay, here's another palette of colors that I created some time ago. They matching. Another palette, okay, Jamal al-Din. These are the colors from the Jamal al-Din Mosque. How you do it? Very simple. You're going to the Paint Shop Pro. Okay, I don't have a right thing, but okay, I can just tell this. You're going here, and you see there's a tool, color picker. You're going here, and this thing has a color like this. You see it here. If you go here, you're getting different color. So if you wish to be really sure that you are choosing good colors, what to do? Take a photograph that you like. Take a painting that you like. And go through the painting and select from this painting, let's say 5, no more than 5. 5 sometimes is even too much. 5, 6 colors that are specific for this painting. But there is more. Colors may be specific for this painting, but look at the relation between colors. in every painting you will see one color is dominating, is a lot of it, and another color is only in some places. Try to just get this idea. Look at the painting and see how much of each color is there. If you like this idea of the painting, then you can transform this idea to your design. Okay? You can make your design according to, let's say, Picasso colors or according to somebody else. That's really up to you. Okay? But just don't choose the basic colors. Okay? Okay, I have to select something because otherwise, okay, just like this. Don't choose the basic colors. Because if you start choosing yellow, red, orange, okay, the pure colors, it may not work. Sometimes it will work, but it may not never work, okay? So that's a color thing, and this is what is just for Uzun question. Now, let's go to the next part. I'm not sure when I mentioned this, but some time ago I mentioned here about Mirza Akbar Khan scroll. What are the scrolls of architects? We know very few of them. One of them is the Topkapi scroll, which I am trying to see, just see original Topkapi scroll, and I never succeeded. I was asking many people to get me access to it. No way. Topkapi scroll, then there is Mirza Akbar scroll, which you can see on the website of the Victoria and Albert Museum. Victoria and Albert Museum has photographs of fragments of the Mirza Akbar scroll. And this is the only scroll that you can really see. And, well, see, if you go to the Victoria and Albert Museum, you can ask them to show you this. And okay, so you can see it just on your eyes. That is important. According to the literature, to the books, a number of such scrolls were discovered in Uzbekistan, in Bukhara and Samarkand, and there was expedition, archaeological expedition of Andreev. It was shortly after the war. No, it was before, 1936. Yes. 1936. And the person named Andreev. This exhibition this was Russian archaeologists, they went to Bukhara and they really confiscated a number of scrolls from the craftsmen. They took these scrolls, they put them somewhere in the museum in Tashkent. They never did any kind of evaluation, nothing. So there is only one article where you can find some shadows of this thing, and there is Rempel's book where are, let's say, 5 photographs of this of pictures from this scroll, and that's all. I went this year to Tashkent, I went to Bukhara, I went to Samarkand looking for these scrolls, and it's complete disaster. My colleague, who is the director of the Museum of History of Uzbekistan in Tashkent, he told me, listen, I cannot find anything like this. I know that there should be, but I cannot find. Simply, after the Uzbekistan left Russia, after they separated, all documentation from museums was gone. And many things or disappeared, or they are somewhere on the shelf and nobody really knows where they are. So this is the whole story. This means that scrolls from Uzbekistan may be somewhere in private hands, They may be somewhere in the museum, still on the shelf, waiting when somebody will discover them again. The only thing that we have are the scrolls that are in the Victoria Albert Museum. This is what you can see and investigate. Why these scrolls are important? Because these scrolls are building our knowledge how the patterns were created. This is our knowledge. Look at this. This is one of the simple patterns. What we have here, here we have 4 squares. They needed really this part to construct the whole pattern, nothing else. This part was enough. Here you have also something that was enough for another pattern. Here, what you see here, it is fragment that is enough for the pattern. They don't need 1,000 of lines and circles. They need something like this. If you are able to construct this thing, you got the whole pattern. You don't need anything else. Let's look at this. That's another thing. Okay, I have to just throw out Andreev. That's another thing. What you have here? You have here one fragment. Okay, that's a separate picture. Scroll of architects were usually very long. And there was picture, picture, picture, picture, picture. It was scrolled out. The same like many other books from this period of time. So this is what you really need for reconstructing the whole pattern, nothing else. Here is another thing. Here is another. If you know how to construct this, your pattern is ready. Okay? Here is something, okay, I just have to move this out. Okay, here is another fragment. What you have here, you have 3 designs, 3 or 5. That's one design. You need only this, nothing else. And out of this you can create your pattern. Or this is another pattern. Starting from here, just draw the line, draw the line, draw the line here, and this is what you have in the middle. This is what you need to make your pattern. Nothing else. How? I will show you just in a moment. Here, the artist put the whole thing. Okay? This is a bigger unit than this one, but you can do it any way you want. Okay? Just remember, in the past, they never created the whole patterns. They always created something small and then they repeated it many, many times. When I was in Uzbekistan, you need the previous one? Okay. When I was in Uzbekistan, I was watching how these people are making carvings. This is a different thing, different story. But in the woodworking workshop, there was on the wall a number of papers just hanging. And the carver was just carving a big door, a big panel. He was looking at the wall and he was saying, okay, I like this one. It will fit perfectly here. He was taking this from the wall, he was putting on the wood, and this pattern had holes. It was like this, the pattern, and there were holes along the line. So he took the pattern, he put it on the wood, he took something that was with the black dust, I think it was coal, and just pattern was going out, and the picture was there. And then he drawing this line and he started carving it. This is how he did this. They didn't even construct this. He had just a pattern ready from the past, from his father, from his grandfather, and so on. In fact, why we have these scrolls, how some of these scrolls came to our times, because they were kept in the families. The Mirza Akbar's scroll was bought from his wife. When he died, his wife sold it. But we know that these patterns were standing in the families for many generations, and each generation was adding something to this. Okay, let's go further because otherwise I will never start the proper topic. I wish to show you how the patterns were created. Just a few examples. Okay, so let me to go to my thing and okay. Let's start from here. This was the first pattern. You remember this one? You remember this one? Okay. I just take it, Control copy, go to Paint Shop Pro, edit, paste as a new image. I just need only this part, Control copy, go here, okay, I can shut it down, I can open my, this, no, edit, paste picture, okay. This is how normally I work. I put the picture so I can follow it, and then I look at the picture. What I have here, I have square. So I create my square. I have my square ready because sometimes I needed a square, so I created a tool for making a square. Okay, that's my square. I don't need the interior, so I can remove it. Okay, and then I have these lines. Fine, I can make them. It's not a big deal. This line, I have them. Okay. Now I think, what is this? This point is here, and this is center of the side. So let's make center. Okay, this was my mistake. Sorry, I have to fix this. Otherwise, I will never do proper job. Just remember. Okay, and now for all these points, I just need centers of them. Okay. My hand is shaking sometimes. I'm getting old. Okay. I got centers. Now what I do? Okay. Let's create a circle. Let's make a circle. Okay. Just a simple thing. Let's make a circle. I got the circles, and now I just start playing game. First of all, I don't like these lines because these are heavy lines and I really don't like them. So this spline, okay, the circles, I don't need them. The big ones, this plane, line style, make it thin, and that's okay, make it dashed. Okay, so the circles will disappear in some stage. But now, what I need segments. Look at this. Here I have something like this. So I just go this way. And of course, now I am in trouble because my line is like this. I have to go back, make it medium, make it solid, and then again, again, again, again, again. So I create my pattern this way. It is a very simple one. Okay. Do I have everything for this pattern? Look at this, what I have. In this pattern, I have this line, I have these lines, this. I don't need anything more. Okay? So, in such case, I can disappear this thing. I can remove even this part because I have it ready here. Okay? And now, I can just take the circles, display, and hide them. I don't need them. I don't need also points, unless I wish to make something in color. If I wish to make something in color, what I do, I go to my colors, okay, and okay, these are Konya colors, fine. These are colors that I captured from one of the photographs in Konya, fine. You remember how Konya colors look, how Konya patterns looks? Okay, this one like this. Okay, now I wish to have this thing looking like this one. Is this correct? Okay. Display, color, make the other one fine, and this color is like this. And in this moment, I can also create this one. Do I need this one? No. In this moment, this color is exactly the same one. I can just click double on this point, and I can say, okay, now, no, I need one more. Okay. And now I can use just the basic geometry thing. Double click on this point, select these three things, and then transform, rotate. How much rotate? 90 degrees. This is what teachers are doing in the school, rotations. So rotate this again. Now transform, rotate, transform, rotate. Okay, I got it. Now the lines. Okay, I'm lazy, so I'm just trying to select all segments. Okay, and what I want. You remember, lines in Konya patterns are very light, and I don't have this light color here. Okay, now that's similar to this one. So display color, the other one, just like this. So this will be the Konya pattern thing. So now points, I don't need points anymore. Okay, select all points, display, hide points. I don't have points at all. Okay. I can take the lines, make them thicker. Okay. Select all segments, then line style, make them thick so I see them at least. I don't need this one. And now I can create my whole pattern out of this. Select this one, select reflect. Mirror reflection. Okay, this is what you do when you take a paper. You take a transparent paper. Okay, you turn it upside down. You're making reflection. So I say reflect. Okay, then double click on this. I select this, transform, reflect. Look how the pattern is building. Okay, I can do this way. Transform, reflect. This is what I am getting. And now another trick, okay? I was showing you this program. Okay, let's discard. File, new. Let's make just one empty page. I go to here, and the first thing what I do, I say select colors, select polygons, edit, select all polygons. First I have to just, do I have to care about this? No. Copy this. I go here, edit, and paste. Paste them as a meta file. These are my polygons. You don't see anything because they are huge in this moment. Just, you can ask telltale like this. Okay, don't worry about this. They are here. Okay. Okay, just okay, edit, select all, edit. Okay. Now I'm going back to this thing, and I'm just selecting only the lines. Select all segments. Copy the segments. Go to here, edit, paste the segments. Okay. This is what I get. Okay. I have two separate layers. If my polygons are color, then there will be different colors, okay? But I didn't bother to make different colors for them, so this is this. And just remember one thing. My lines are each separate line. If you see this thing, so I can even change the color of each line to something different. Okay? If I wish to avoid this, I have to go back, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. It is gone. And the first thing, edit, select all, edit. That's okay, just group it. Okay, it is grouped already, fine. Okay. Now I put my lines, paste lines, arrange, group them. Okay, so lines are not disappearing. And now I can just make these things, I can just select everything, edit, select all, arrange, and alignment, just to make central and central, apply. Okay. What happened during the transformation? This thing was transformed to some slightly bigger than the other one, but I can adjust this. I can say, okay, this thing should be 15 centimeters wide. Okay. This thing should be also 15 centimeters wide. Now I can zoom to it perfectly, and this is how my pattern looks. Okay. Now something is still wrong. Sometimes you have to adjust things like this. That's my pattern after just the first movement to this program. But then you still have two separate layers. So you can take this layer, the layer of lines, and then you can apply different color to it. That's up to you. Okay. I like this, or like this. Okay. Or if you like pink colors, you can make it pink. No problem. It looks ugly. Sorry. Okay. Or you can make it like this. Now, with these tools, you can do something with this. Okay. So, for example, here is a typical 3D tool. If I apply the 3D tool, I will get my Panjara. Okay. And of course, I can just play with this. I can say, okay, it should be high, 5 pixels, okay, and the line should be, let's say, 10. Okay. So this is what you can do, no problem. Very simple thing. In most of the vector graphics programs, you can do things like this. Set line color to blue, okay, and then set the fill color to red, okay. Things like this. This is my normal everyday work. Nothing special. Okay? Nothing special. I can experiment with these things in so many ways you want. Okay? Control Z is just going back. I can select different tools, okay? For example, this one. Okay. So this is what I created out of this thing. Okay. And then, of course, I have to go back and I have to adjust these things. Okay. So this is, let's say, a rounded shape. It cannot be like this. Okay. So the size, 1 centimeter, this is too much. Okay. So I can make it this way. Not 0, 0.1, that's fine. Okay? So you can imitate, this way you can imitate real things. Okay? Okay, I'm talking too much and I should go back. So this is the way how I created this thing. And this is the design that I created out of this, what I did a moment ago. Another design. You remember this pattern? If I select this thing, if I copy it here, if I go to edit, paste picture, and take this picture out, that's design. I changed it. If you look what I did here, you can see what I did. First, I divided this angle into 4 equal parts. This angle into 4 equal parts, 4 equal and 4 equal. I found the midpoints, I joined them together. And now, when I got this division, I got this division, I got this point. Okay? So this way, what I can do, I can take a circle from here to this point, and I will get the remaining points. I don't wish to bother about them anymore. Okay? So I have this. And then, so I have this nice octagon in the middle. I have these lines ready. Okay? They came just from the octagon. These things are just parts of the division of the angle into 4 equal parts. And what I did, I didn't like this thing here. I didn't like really this thing, so I added here additional segment just to fix this thing. What I got this way I got the pattern with very nice kites. These are very nice kites. What is a kite? Kite is an object like this one, where you have 4 sides, 2 sides are equal and 2 other sides are equal. Okay? This is kite. The kids are playing with kites when there's wind. So I have kites. Okay? And then from the kites, I can make my pattern. That's my pattern. It looks like this. Very simple work. Not much playing with this, okay? And out of this I can make my design this way. If I am not happy, okay, if I am not happy with this, if I think, okay, it's not complicated enough, what I can do, I can fill the kites with kites again. Okay? Do I have now? Okay, let me to stay with this one. Yeah, this one was. The black one are the kites that I got. But you can take each of these kites and make new kites. How to do it? Look at this. You draw a segment, you draw another segment, and then I just have to make a kite. So my kite will be like this. I take this part, transform, reflect. This is my kite. This part, you can forget about this, okay? I can create my kites 2 ways. One way, by taking this point, putting a circle like this, okay, and then from this point, putting a circle like this. What I get this point. Now, I get this point, and I get this point. So in this one, this side and this side are equal. You agree? If this side and this side are equal, I can find somewhere a point that will build my kites. I only have to dispose the circles, so hide the circles. Now I have these points, okay, make them point style, make them large and make them red so I can see them and you can see them. And now, how to divide this angle into parts, into equal parts? Just draw the segment like this, find the midpoint on this, draw the line through the midpoint, find this point, okay, and now remove all this. You don't need this anymore. This plate, hide. And look what I got. I got things like this, and of course I have to draw this one. I have to hide this thing because this was just to help me. So this is how I could divide one kite into 3 others. If the kite is regular, let's say like this, look, This is what I am getting when I am playing with the software. Software is giving me a thing like this. So this kite, the big black kite, was divided into smaller kites exactly the same way. Okay? Exactly the same way. I did precisely the same way. Okay? Okay, let's scrub this. No, I don't wish to scrub this. Let's move it up. Now, let's copy this thing. Okay. Paste. I need this one. And let's remove this thing. I don't need this one. I don't need these points. Okay. I'm starting again. I have my big kite and I wish to create kites in it. What I do, precisely the same what I did before, diagonal. But this one, I can make it like this. I wish to have this segment here on this line. Why not? Okay, so I make this. Okay, and I get this particular point. So in this moment, this segment and this segment are equal. I need to create 1 point more. So take this one. Okay, construct the midpoint, draw the line. Draw the line here, and what you get this point. Okay? Now, I don't need these things anymore. So this thing, this thing, this thing, display, hide these things. Okay? I don't need this point. Hide the midpoint, and I can create my new kites. This is my new kite. Okay? And if I make reflection, just a mirror reflection, this thing like this, transform, reflect, I get two kites. Look what is the difference between kites from the previous example and this one. In this example, the kite is pointing inside, okay? It is pointing inside, towards the center, okay? Okay, just the line, make it red. So this kite is pointing here. This one is pointing outside, So these are two different operations that are giving you opportunity to divide one big kite into smaller ones. And you can repeat this. So for example here, this pattern, if you look at this pattern, how this pattern was created. I took the black pattern from the previous example, and then I applied the kiting operation. These kites are pointing inside. This is this one, okay? They're pointing inside. But here I have something like this. These kites are pointing outside, okay? I got different pattern. So the kiting operation is giving you a chance to produce something like this. Okay? After applying the kiting operation, you got something new. And I doubt if there is anywhere in the world pattern similar to this one. Okay? I believe that there's nothing like this one. Or you can take just lines, no colors at least. You can put them into graphics program and you can do. Okay, here are my kiting operations that I was showing you. Okay, so this is the kiting inside. That's the kiting outside. Okay, you can apply kiting operations many times. If you have a big kite, then you can just kite it like this. You're getting another kite here. You can again apply the second kiting operation. you get something like this again, again, again, again. You can make really complicated pattern just by going step by step down, down, down, down. Okay? Any questions?
Does all the design, the patterns, when you implement them for manufacturing, it works? Like when to go to the smallest point, the edge,
Yeah.
in the work, does it implement when working, because the artisan will get difficulty to manufacture it?
No, I don't know how this is really in practice, but the story is that sometimes we want to produce a pattern that is complex, but we don't wish to repeat something that exists somewhere. So we take a basic pattern and we modify it in some way so we can get something new. Okay?
This pattern help to the designer to modify the openings, as I understood, which is a design solution, more to be a drawing solution.
This is not drawing, this is designing.
Designing, yes.
Yeah. And of course, if you are artist, if you like painting floral things, okay, you can use each of these space to paint your flowers and leaves and so on. That's what he was showing us. All these adornments that you have in Iranian architecture and also here in Turkey are created like this. There is geometric pattern and the space between line is covered by additional floral elements. Okay, this is how we get them. The floral elements are never just painted from the sky. They fit precisely some specific area. For example, think like this. That's a very simple, really very simple example. How I got this example? Okay, look at this. If I copy this part, copy this like here, go to Sketchpad, edit, paste picture. Come on, okay, I understand what is happening here. Okay, that's my picture. And of course, I just rotated it because it was more convenient. At this time, it was more convenient for me. But okay, I can do it. Okay, and now I can rotate it to this position. Okay, this is more or less what I got. Okay, and now I don't need this point. Okay, look at this. When you see something like this, that's enough to make a huge pattern. Very nice pattern. Because you're reading this thing and you see, okay, I have to divide this angle into how many parts? Here you see 3, but in reality you have them 6. So I divided this angle in these parts. Now, this you have to try. If I connect these 2 points with the line, I probably get this, probably. This is just a guessing. I will be never sure that originally this thing was created this way. This is my guess, okay? But when I get this thing, I have foundation for everything, because starting from this point, I draw a circle through this thing, I get this thing. So part of the pattern is here, okay? If I get this, then I can just follow by drawing lines, okay? Okay, just, that's the picture. Oh no, I don't like this. Copy this picture and let's go to the second page. Okay, look, my next thing. I have this circle and then my question is, where is this point? This jagged line. I think, this is my guess, this is the middle of the square. Okay, I will be never sure. But according to my view, this is probably this. So I go to here, I choose the center of the square, that's easy. And then out of this, I draw two perpendicular lines. I get these 2 points, this one and this one. These are the points of intersection of this and this line. When I got this, I just create two circles. These are two circles that I have here. One, it is to here, and another one, it is to one of these points. And then I get these points and I just draw line from here to here, from here to here, from here, and so on and so on. That's all. That's all. The circles like this are really, are really useful things because you can distribute your pattern around the point. Okay? So in this case, my pattern was distributed around this point. The rest is just a matter of guess. You have additional line here, but this is just a tricky part. What I did, I took this point, I made a circle passing through this, I got this. This is guessing. I will be never sure if this is correct, but this is guessing. It looks correct, at least. Then I can correct this with, copy it with this color. That's up to me. Okay, and then I can repeat this as many times as you wish. Okay, I take one part. Okay, which one it was? Okay, let me to go back with the corner here. It's okay. So this was this part. Reflections, reflections, reflections. Reflections up and down. That's my pattern. Nothing special. Just okay. That's my pattern. And I get for free. Repetition of colors I get for free. I need to create only one small piece. And then everything will be distributing all over the way I want. Okay, here comes something very interesting. I said we repeat pattern, mirror reflections. Depending how you repeat and how many copies you do, you will get something different. For example, here I got 4 circles like this and the blue thing inside. If I wish to get a circle as a central part, I can do the same just using different. Okay, let's make it a point. This is the point where I wish to scale. I can create a pattern this way. This is the same template. Okay, the same modulo. In Uzbekistan, they say that's a modulo. And having the module, you have everything. I say template because I have easy translation to Polish language for my articles for teachers. Okay. In fact, this is a kind of template, so this is not wrong. So it was just transformation, reflection in different way. Okay, I can have pattern like this. I can make it even bigger. Okay, just look at this. What I do. Okay, I make something like this. Now I don't need this point. Forget about this. I can just say, okay, this is my reflection line. Transform, reflect. Then this is a reflection line. Again, going down. Transform, reflect. This is what you're getting. You're getting huge repeating pattern. Each of them has a different really influence on your mind. For example, in this pattern, in the pattern when you had the circle in the middle, your eye was concentrating on the central part. Here, when you have this thing, your eye is concentrating on these. They are dominating. Okay. Here, your eye is concentrating on nothing because you have so many things and you practically don't see anything. Okay. What I don't like in this pattern, what I don't like personally, I don't like these shapes because these shapes are not regular kites. But in the original pictures, they were not kites. Okay. What is interesting in this thing, that you're getting large spaces between. You see, from the design, from the making point of view, if you're making a window glass, if you have so many small elements, it is really difficult work. And this work is difficult from 2 points of view. One point of view is that you have to create so many segments and connect them in some way. Connecting all these pieces of wood is not a simple thing, okay? And then you have to make small glasses, small pieces of glass, and you have to feed them, which is not easy. So sometimes it is better to have larger areas, especially around the point, because around the point like this, putting something small here, it is terribly difficult. So from the work point of view, it is much nicer. And of course, if you have less these pieces of wood, you're getting more light in the inside of the building. In most of these patterns are essential the long strips. Most of the Panjara patterns use the long strips of wood. Why? Because this pattern in reality is much stronger. When you build this out of wood or any other material, this is what is keeping your construction strong. This part is not working much for you, okay? For example, when they make Panjara in the marble, because you have it in the marble also, in Istanbul you're getting it often in marble, these long strips are usually for the framework. And then, so they first carry about this stone, and then they do the rest, the carving inside.